Ever since Disney bought the franchise, Star Wars has been falling and falling. But on the other hand, it never quite crashes, occasionally delivering masterpieces like Andor. And maybe, just maybe, we'll even get the Clone Wars remade with live actors. At least, that's what Ewan McGregor hinted at, while also openly calling on Disney to finally make something truly worthwhile with Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then, on the other hand, we've just been shown the very first footage of the Starfighter movie starring Ryan Gosling. And considering that in the director's chair sits Sean Levy, the man behind Deadpool and Logan, expectations are sky high. You probably see where this is going. Yes, it smells like an unexpectedly optimistic episode about Star Wars, with Disney apparently planning another reboot. So write in the comments, do you believe in it or not? And we'll begin with Andor. For the record, it is the first series in history to deliver 5 episodes in a row, each one rated above 9.5 by viewers. Once again, we apologize for that video where, after 3 episodes, we called the first season a nap, because Andor turned out to be one of the best Star Wars projects ever made. Everybody is talking about it. For example, Simon Kinberg, the man entrusted with the new trilogy, openly stated that he was inspired by Andor and will use the same approach. But for us, what matters much more is that Ewan McGregor himself, the actor who played Obi-Wan, praised the show and admitted that his biggest regret in his entire career was not being able to appear in Andor. Because, according to him, Obi-Wan was alive at that time and he could have been written into the story, and it gets even better. McGregor publicly asked Disney to film a 3rd season of Andor with Obi-Wan in it. That's how much love he has for the series. But Disney won't have an easy time with Andor Season 3, simply because, technically, it already exists. It's Rogue One, which came out way back in 2016. Still, McGregor sees a loophole. He said the story of Andor Season 3 could run parallel to Rogue One, with intersections, or even unfold a few days before the movie begins. That way it could expand the lore even more, which is exactly what Andor already did brilliantly. At the end of his statement, McGregor openly appealed to Disney to make such a show. The audience present responded with thunderous applause. Will Disney support it? Let's say 30-70 against, 30% positive, because when an actor of McGregor's caliber asks for a film or series, it often gets made. Robert Downey can confirm that. And let's be honest, Andor didn't exactly end with a firm full stop. The story of Cassian's sister was never resolved, nor was the arc with Bix, who simply disappeared, and we don't know what happened to Cassian's child either. His sister and his child are both technically Andors, carrying his last name. So Season 3 could be made without touching Rogue One at all, while keeping the title and focusing on those same characters, Cassian's sister Bix, and maybe even Obi-Wan. Actress Adria Arjona could absolutely carry the show, and with Obi-Wan included, the project would make narrative sense. The lore of Rogue One and Star Wars could be expanded not for 1, but 2 or 3 more seasons. Even Diego Luna could be brought back if needed, with a story showing his sister, Obi-Wan, and Bix trying to save Cassian and Jyn Erso, but never managing to reach them in time. Unfortunately, we still lean 70% toward no, because organizationally, a potential Andor Season 3 looks like a nightmare. First of all, the budget of the first 2 seasons was $540 million, equivalent to Infinity War and Endgame combined. Nobody knows who Tony Gilroy had to take hostage to get that much money, but somehow he did. And yet, even with all that, Andor Season 2 had 4 times fewer viewers than The Mandalorian. Of course, it's the kind of show that will be appreciated more over time, and Disney knows that, but it's unlikely they'll fund another season at the same scale. And the very things that made Andor so good, practical sets, massive extras, were Tony Gilroy's trademarks. He openly said there would be no Season 3. And remember, the quality of Andor was ensured because he spent nearly a decade developing just those 2 seasons. If a continuation happens, it will likely be in the form of cheaper spin-offs, rushed productions, and probably without Gilroy, which, let's be honest, kills much of the hope for success. As for McGregor, his plea for Andor 3 honestly looks more like a simple desire to put on the Obi-Wan costume again, anywhere, anyhow. And if Andor isn't realistic, there are plenty of other options. One of them, the actor teased himself, he said he had homework to do, which meant watching the Clone Wars animated series. He was, of course, speaking in the context of missed opportunities like Andor, but the community took it differently, especially since back in late 2024, McGregor had already stated he wanted to wear Obi-Wan's Clone Wars era outfit most of all. And right now, active development is underway on ideas for Obi-Wan Season 2. And here, the chance of seeing such a project is almost 100%, because Obi-Wan is a character who doesn't need to ride Andor's success. He could easily carry a solo trilogy of big-budget films. So it makes sense to go that direction. Disney has also already said Obi-Wan will return soon. 2 options exist here. The first, less exciting one, is Obi-Wan Season 2. Yes, mistakes from Season 1 could be corrected. A solid story could be written. Flashbacks from the Clone Wars era could be added, with a still good Anakin Skywalker. With the right script, choreography, and no shaky cam, the show could succeed. The only problem is that the number 2 will forever remind people of the first season's failure and lower hype. Hollywood marketers know this very well. A soft reboot would be better, severing ties with the bad season, which makes the choice obvious: a full-fledged Clone Wars live-action movie or series. Yes, the animated series covered it in detail, but let's be honest, few fans would object to expanding the lore that way. McGregor is 54, Hayden Christensen is 44, and both are still in good shape. Modern technology can de-age them 20 years easily if the project starts soon. And the best part is, beyond this duo, anyone could return. Master Yoda, Mace Windu, even Palpatine. Andor already showed that flashbacks can stretch canon without feeling forced. In fact, such a project would bring Star Wars back to its roots, and almost all fans would support it, provided the execution is solid. Especially since the same thing is happening in Marvel, another Disney studio which recently hit reset and brought back all the old favorites. So one way or another, something involving Obi-Wan is almost certain in the coming years. Leave your ideas in the comments. Now let's talk about Ryan Gosling, who, in an ironic twist, will once again play a driver, but this time a starfighter pilot. The movie has officially started filming. Disney even released the first on-set photo showing not only Gosling, but also actor Flynn Gray, a sign his character plays a major role if he's on the very first promo shot, which makes sense since the synopsis promises the adventure of a pilot and a teenager traveling across the galaxy. Not much to go on, but of course there's already behind-the-scenes drama. Originally, one of the leads was supposed to be Daisy Ridley, reprising her role as mentor to the teenager. The plan was for sequel trilogy characters to appear in spin-offs. Naturally, fans were intrigued, and Sean Levy initially refused to direct without her. But then, in January 2025, plans shifted. Gosling was cast as the mentor instead. Levy changed his stance, saying the movie would have no ties to past projects. A fresh start in a brand new timeline. Sounds very much like Disney allowed Levy to exclude Daisy Ridley entirely, making the film independent of the sequels. Kathleen Kennedy, of course, still insists familiar characters might return, but at most as cameos, and that's something we can live with. Especially since, along with Gosling, the project gained Oscar-winning cinematographer Claudio Miranda, who worked on Top Gun, Maverick, and knows his way around aircraft. The script is being written by Jonathan Tropper, who worked with Levy on the Adam Project. And joining the cast alongside Gosling is Amy Adams, who only ever joins blockbusters if the director and script are top tier. So, on May 28th, 2027, we'll likely see the first truly solid project of the rebooted Star Wars universe. And yes, that's not a mistake. On May 22nd, 2026, The Mandalorian and Grogu movie will release. It finished filming 6 months ago and is now deep in post-production. But that one is a bit more worrying. First, because it was developed before Disney's new leadership gave the reboot signal. It's a lot like what happened at Marvel, where the universe was reset, but Captain America couldn't be reshot in time. Second, Season 2, and especially Season 3, of The Mandalorian badly hurt the franchise's reputation. It felt like the show was spinning its wheels, relying too much on Luke Skywalker's cameo, and repeating itself for fan service. And now, Disney has been suspiciously quiet about promotion. Normally, Star Wars projects get hyped years in advance. That silence makes many think things aren't going smoothly. The only hope lies with Jon Favreau, who does know how to make good movies. And that's pretty much it for the next 2 years. No other projects have been announced. Simon Kinberg is working on the new trilogy, inspired by Andor. James Mangold is slowly developing a Jedi origin film. And Dave Filoni is crafting something that will continue Disney Plus storylines. Not all of them may reach theaters, but that's actually good. Like with Marvel, Star Wars has finally shifted to focusing on quality over quantity. And maybe, just maybe, this time it'll work. So what do you think? Will Disney revive this struggling universe, or is it beyond saving? Share your thoughts in the comments. For now, that's all. See you soon in the next video.